at microHAM since the last presentation when I shown you the ARCO. Of course, we have worked and made some progress in elevation, can track objects, can track very precisely moon, satellites, and so on. But the most important thing what we did last year was joining the Nocturn devices company and joining the forces of young pistols, programming forces of young pistols, and some experience and and maybe wisdom of old dogs. So our first mutual product, which Sam is going to speak about today, is affordable remote control for virtually everyone who is interested in the remote control of the station, with features and easy of the flex systems, but with the absolutely new things what so far has not been shown by any other the party or competition. So let me hand the microphone to the Sam. Thank you.
Let's go, Professor. Okay, thank you. So I'm glad that you're all here, and I'm very happy that it's the last presentation and I'm the part of it. So I will be talking a bit about remote operation. We had already one really good presentation by Ranko, and it seems to be that the remote is something that everybody wants. Everybody wants to have access to their ham shack, because sometimes your ham shack is far, far away from your home, or it's unreachable or something. It's really a problem. And still, there is no real system. Well, we saw one now, but up until now, I only know about the Flex. And we decided that we do something very similar to that. And the main question that was or has to be answered when designing something that is for the remote operation, I think there is one question, one word that should really make it stand out, and it should be convenience. And the convenience of using it, of having it available, of having it set up very, very easily, very quickly. So that's super important. And given that rule, we have been inspired by this rule, and we designed the remote. So, what are the usual problems of remote setups that maybe some people have? Well, usually it's the network setup, that you have to have static IP, you have to set up some port forwarding, maybe do DDNS, maybe through VPN. All right, so lots of networking, lots of configuration. Not too many people familiar with networking. It's a complex topic, so it's hard to do. But still, if you set up a network, thanks. If you set up a network, how do you pass all the audio and serial ports that you usually have at hand when you are on the shack, and you have your serial ports or USBs and everything available? So you cannot help with only networking, right? You have to have some kind of a hardware. And usually there are lots of people with old radios, or maybe radios that are not suitable, or were older models that people still use and do not have remote control apps. Or there are devices that does not have remote control apps. There are only, for example, Windows control apps that you have to connect on the local Windows PC and connect the devices. So this has to be addressed somehow. And I feel like when I was exploring the possibilities of how to do remote setups, I always figure out that people just glue things together. So they set up some VPN, they maybe use certain nets, so they can send serials. They maybe have USB over network or some tools. They have to click everything, and it's still hard to configure and provide some good functionality. And even if you set up it like that, you still do not do some intercommunication with the devices in the setup, right? So this is also the point Ranko has made with the station manager, that you have to control things all together, and this is very true for everything. So, and this has to be somehow really solved. So, we addressed every point one by one. So, on our side, you do not need to change any network settings. So no port forwarding, no static IPs, no VPNs, no DDNS, no nothing. We use cloud architecture that will handshake your remote station with your client side, and it will exchange the information on how to make the bridge between your devices anywhere on the internet. So it bypasses all the NATs, all the problems, all the forwarding, everything. So this happens on, you don't have to care about this. This is a solved issue. Well, and if we already connecting the LAN network of our handshake to our local LAN, then we also need to transfer all the USB devices. So, for example, radios, which are usually sound cards and serial ports for control, and maybe some other devices that are controlled by the plain serial ports or whatever else USB devices as well. So we solved that. So we sent USB things over LAN. And we also addressed the problem that if you do not have the application to control your things on the other side, so for example, you miss some application, or there is simply no application for the device, we write so-called controllers that you can attach to so-called dashboard, which I will show you a bit later. So, and it runs in browser. And browser is the most common application everybody has everywhere. So you have it on the laptop, you have it on your tablets, you have it everywhere. So basically, that's the app you should be using for controlling your remote. No any other installations, or you can, but you need to start with the browser. And since we give you all this, now this is some unified solution to setups, both simple and complex, maybe not too overly complex like giant stations, but covers 90% of setups. And it's no tools, hacks, workarounds, anything. You just connect things together, and you just connect from the browser, and everything runs from point to point. Or I so hope, because I will show you that, and if it doesn't, well. And of course, we also write some logic on of a little bit of so-called automation. It's really simple stuff that does some cool stuff for your setup. You will see what I mean by that. And also the beneficial things that we haven't seen yet on every other on competition. So this is our setup. This is some simple station we have at home. It's just a simple vertical that's connected to the trio switch. It goes to two radios, ICOM 7300 and Yazoo FTDX10. The SMORPH watt meter measures the antenna. And all this, we have ARCO as well, connected to USB. And you can see all the different connections. So we have LAN devices, we have USB devices. And all of those are connected to so-called gateway, which is a Raspberry Pi. You all probably have at home, because, you know, ham radio people are tinkerers, so they usually have a Raspberry Pi at home. So this is something you can already start building yourself if you want. And we have this Nocturn cloud that does the handshake, so we can transfer all the data anywhere on the internet. And then we have these applications and Nocturn dashboards, as we can call them for now, that we can connect through dongle, which is a little piece of hardware that you connect to your PC, which provides you with the sound card and serial ports that you can transfer on the other side through the internet to your handshake. All right, it sounds complicated, maybe, but I'll show you it's pretty simple to set up. So let me show you. So this is a simple setup for ICOM. I can show you the process of creation of this so-called setup, but it's very obvious from what you see that we have some ICOM 7300, we have those devices that are on the remote side, so Arco, Trio, Smurf. We have some dashboards or applications on the local side, so basically when I come here, you can see that we provide the browser audio, the dongle audio, which is provided by the dongle that is plugged into this PC that I have here, which browser already is taken in hands. You can show it to everyone. Yeah. And it provides serial ports and some applications. In the middle, there is those automations or so-called automation ports. So for example, you have a cat merge. So you can take two serial streams of data and send them to one radio to control from different applications the one device. And this data endpoint that you can connect as many devices controlling one simple one device on the other side, because it merges all the streams that will go inside this CAD merge. And on the top of it, there is a audio transfer node, which is something that Bratso already somehow mentioned in the questions of previous presentation. How do you know the latency, for example, when you want to set up SO2R? So we can provide fixed latency buffers for your audio streams or adaptive buffering, so you can have some shorter, faster rates of audio depending on the network status or jitter and everything. Right, so when I connect it like this, no, it's custom made, but we will talk about Node-RED very soon. So those are the applications that are here. So there is the rotator, power meter, audio, and Trio. And usually this is the point I was hoping to work, but now it doesn't. Well, let's see again. Sometimes it doesn't want to. So let's see. It has to gather all the nodes. Okay. Sometimes the refresh is a charm. Yeah. There is this FT8 modulation that is also forked into the browser audio and also forked to the dongle audio. So when I open, for example, the very common application for this, we can already see that there is this modulation coming from our QTH to the application. We see there is the spectrum. It will shortly decode the messages. And this goes to the dongle audio in the routing we have made. And to show that we also control the radio from the same side, we can also connect RSBA1 as well. So this is another application that is running in the second serial port. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So you can see that now I have claimed an audio device and two different serial ports that I can use for controlling the simple radio that I have here. So, let's see. What do you mean? Yeah, it runs on the PC. The RSBA1. Yes. Yes, exactly. So applications that you normally use, for example, we can change the WSJT or RSBA1 for logger, the X log, for example, and you can click spots, so it also jumps the band map. So anything. Basically, you can fork as many things you can connect to the setup. So so we have this, and we have these dashboards that you can just stack as you want. So basically, that's the thing. We have it, for example, if I switch the trio, we are out of the signal because it's piped to the another radio, it's piped to the Yazoo, but this is not connected in this pipeline, so you cannot hear it. But when you switch back to ICOM, you switch the antenna back to ICOM. And very cool feature we have made, because as you can see, you always have so many windows open. So you probably want to detach your nodes in here. So let's, for example, tune it. All right. And so, and let's do FT8 QSO while I'll explain everything else. So this is live QSO. It goes from our QTH in Slovakia, Galanta. You can see that we are transmitting. It's shown on the power meter in the spectrum. So maybe we can do it. So this is how super simple you can set up application like this. So you can have two applications. You control the radio. You can have applications that are not available, right? So there is no application for SMOR, for example, to have some power meter, right? How many browsers? As many as you want. I'll show you in the next setup, which is maybe more interesting for the contest people. And this is something that is very basic, and I guess quite a lot of people would use it, right? So this is the really basic, really simple setup, okay? Okay, I'll stop this. We can finish it maybe someday. So let's go to setup. And the cool thing is that we can have profiles. So I'll show you. You have seen that I have also FTDX in connected to the gateway in Galanta in Slovakia. So I can have a setup with two radios connected to that. And yeah, they should work as well. There are some issues, I admit. There are some issues, but it's a technical demo. And when I connect this, there is this MUX, audio MUX, or how I call it. So basically, now I switched the antenna. This is too loud, right? Right, so this is antenna connected to the first radio, but we can also switch this to the second antenna and switch to the another radio, right? And for that, we also need, again, applications. So we can, again, connect the RSBA1, so that can tune the ICOM. And for example, this one. Let's see. Okay, this takes time. I don't know why this application takes so much time, but until then, I can show you something else. So you see that I have really trouble controlling all these dashboards because I have only a mouse pad or something. And we need some feedback, real hardware feedback. And a lot of you people have this feedback at home. You buy it and you probably connect it to something. So for example, you can just take any MIDI controller and you can bind some switches. So for example, I can switch the trio, or I can, for example, switch the audio MUX. So I can do that as well. Oh well, I'll do it again. So this is from the MIDI controller. It's binded to control this MUX for the radios. I have another buttons that can control the trio. I have another buttons that can control the ARCO, so it rotates to some preset. So anything, you can bind anything. So this is MIDI controllers. And also some of you, or most of you maybe have also Stream Decks for control, and you have tried something, but we did the same. So basically, with the Stream Deck, you can control, again, anything that you bind as a controller. So for example, also this is a bigger Stream Deck. It has encoders, so also a rotator control, so it also moves the rotator in the QTH. So also a Stream Deck. And so what could be another cool feature? Yeah, let me think. So we have this Yazoo app, and we have this, maybe, it depends on the connection. Yeah, it's the HDMI in, but it's fragile depending on the network situation, right? So sometimes it works. Yeah, it just needs a little bit of poking, unfortunately, but you can have also HDMI input, or this is a DVI output from the Yazoo, and it goes into our HDMI in on the remote Raspberry Pi that we have in Galanta. So this is the video output from the radio. And so if I will take this controller, it should reflect that I actually move it, and you can see your screen that is running on the gateway. So this is at least basic example of what we can do I can tell you more offline about we have sequencers, we have PTT control for multiple radios. I'll show you. I will conclude the presentation now that you have seen how this worked. So let's get there. So all right, I lost the mic. It's maybe way too directional. I don't hold it too close to me. So what do we want to support and next step? So basically fix these little things that are really bothering us. But these are simple fixes. But then we want to also do a broader support of functionality. So definitely native support for all the microHAM devices. Oh, yeah, should be. So basically, all the micro keyers, everything that is using microHAM router, and maybe the PANs, maybe also Station Master Deluxe. Yes, it is very hard to do. So it will depend if it's really worth the effort. So we will see. Yeah, yeah, I think so. But you know, so. So I also want to do the browser digital voice keyer, so you can record messages that you will play when you are contesting, so you can bind them again to your MIDI controller or whatever buttons you want. So, and also this GPIO sequencer, what we have in there, so you can use the Raspberry, so you can use those GPIO pins to control PTTs of both radio, LNA, and a PA, right? So you can create a sequencer. We have also started writing some support for another devices. So for example, Ultra Beam controller, and started implementing control or these bars for power amps. So you also have to, and monitoring for that. Also some debugging nodes that you can control audio levels and all the network status and transfer status, some logging from the serial. It's a lot of things. But it will take too long to show you all. And now the question contesters may ask, how do we do the CW support? So basically this little dongle here is again a 20 euro Raspberry Pi that you can buy anywhere. You don't have to buy it from us, you can buy it from your local hardware store. So it's cheaper for you, for example, for postal. And you can put in, for example, the WinKey chip on the hardware serial. You can put in a paddle input, so that could be a solution to the CW. We will also support SO2R. We have the AudioMux. We can switch the TX as well. And now we need to implement the both microHAM SO2R protocol and OTRSP protocol for SO2R. And finally, because this is a cooperation with the hardware people from microHAM, there will be a dedicated hardware console which will have a touchscreen where you can compose these dashboards that you have seen on the browser. And you can have programmable encoders, buttons, and stuff. And also it will have huge connectivity, so 2 spare sound cards, 8 COM ports, so you can connect lots of things to it. And it will go all through USB, Wi-Fi, LAN, whatever you connect to it, it will always deliver the data to the ham shack. So the idea was primarily that you will build it yourself, because it's just Pis, so you can do it on your own. So you can add whatever Pi heads, so you can switch relays. If you want to remote control your relays, you can turn on, turn off devices. You can monitor some pins. You can add foot switch input, for example, for the dongle. You can do that as well. You can route that then to the PTT. All the hardware that will be provided like this, so foot switch input, WinKey, and something will be open source. So we'll give you the schematics and boards and everything, so you can just buy it and build it. But if that's too much, of course, we will give you everything depending on the level of support you want. So we will send you pre-provisioned cards if you want only cards. We can sell you pies with cards as well. We can sell you the gateway like we have it with the HDMI in and the USB switch. This was also the question Brasso had. When you come to the station and it's every USB is connected for remote operation of the radio, you have to switch it to your PC. So we have a USB switch in design that you will just flip the switch, and it is now local to the hub of your PC. So it will work like this, that you only flip the switch on the local side. When you come to the station, you will flip it, and then it will be local use. And also all the dongles that I mentioned. And now the price. So why we built this? So you can have it on, the hardware is cheap. This is the most important thing. The hardware is cheap. The provisioning, the cloud, the servers, the continuous effort to bring more features in, more devices in, this will cost money. And for what, if you want to use your remote station with one dongle, you will have to buy a so-called license. And this license will cost you 99 euros a year. So you pay 99 euros, and you have all these features that I shown you, and also everything else that will be developed in the future in this bundle. So for 99 euros, that's the thing. You can have additional gateways. So it's not only for single station. You can add second station that you can manage, so you can switch also from this drop-down menu another PI that you want to connect to. And you can add this only for 50 when you have a license already. And since we also need not only share gateways or the stations, but also we need to share with friends, so you can invite people for 30 euros a year. And for you pay 30 euros for a person that you can place to any gateway, and he can connect to it and use it as well. You can also specify what can he do, of course, but this leads us to some building for radio clubs over the world, so you can quite cheaply build some gateways, share with all the people in the contest club, for example, and you can have all the club remote. And you can add dongles, because now it's very limited. You have only one sound card and 2 serial ports, so you can buy another license to connect a second one. But the more powerful dongles or the console will come later as in development. So it will be a bit different after that. And this is a special thing. So I really want this remote to spread like plague. So if you recommend through your link that you will have in your account, recommend it to your friend, and this friend buys a license through this link, you will get 5% discount to your subscription for the whole time. And it repeats for every people that you get into it. So if you invite 5 people, you have 25% off of your perpetual license that you buy everything altogether. And so this is not production ready, but I have prepared a little game. Let me set up. It will start in less than 2 months that it will be operational, and it will be a beta version for early birds, people like you that are interested in this. And how you can get into it, you just come here and take a coupon from me that will give you 3 months access to the system for free, and you can play with it, break it, do whatever with it, and you can write us some recommendations, suggestions, whatever you want. And this is for free, so I want everyone to take it. It's free for you, I will place it somewhere on the raffle table. Probably everybody will gather there anyway, so yeah, that could be it. And right. So I yeah. So I forgot there was too many things that I needed to show. Also, this works on tablet simultaneously. If you asked for multiple browsers, so you can open the dashboard, and you can open the same dashboard on your tablet, right? So you can click all the buttons in there, and you will just switch everything. You will just control everything from the tablet. So you can. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the idea basically, that you have the keyboard in your logger. You have MIDI keyboards, you have Stream Decks, you have tablets, and you can click everywhere around. You can switch everything you need, and you can still keep everything in the logger, for example. And Station Master Deluxe, okay. Right, okay, so questions. I see this was the first hand. Yes. No, very good question. It only works with the Google Chrome or Chromium-based browsers, because those only support Web USB. And also this dongle that is connected to the PC that you plug into your PC is communicating through the browser and exchanges all the audio and serial data, transfers this to the browser, and browser then relays them to your shack. Yes, you can have a MIDI console, whatever, yeah. Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I forgot. Right, we will also run Node-RED server on the Pi if you just enable it in the management. And you can connect your pipelines that you built in Node-RED, all the nodes and graphs, to our nodes that will provide some interface. So you can control everything through the Node-RED dashboards. Because people used to have built them, have something that they already are familiar with. So you want to enable them to use it. Something like that. It is quite hard to integrate, but we are getting a hang of it, and it will be working with the Node-RED. Yes, yes. You have built the Node-RED dashboard. You have built every automation in Node-RED. So basically, we want to give you the access to the Pi anyway with the Node-RED. So you don't have to use our dashboard. You can use Node-RED dashboards. Right, any more questions, of course? On any Linux-based PCs, yes. Can. Yeah, very good. Okay, I'll show you. So it was all in a hurry, so let's just disconnect this and do the setup again. So maybe you cannot see it, but the Smorf and Trio are connected through the local, the remote local IP. So basically this is common local IP. So this is on the remote side. So it has 0155, and this is the address. That's on the remote side, and we will just transfer it to here. We have also. It's. We have a type checking for when we add the device. So for example, I can show you. So now you would have to plug in your USB device. I cannot because I'm not in Slovakia, and we will gather everything about the device. So we will check if it's Yazoo, if it's anything else, right? We will gather all the information, and if we know it, we will add it as a known node that you can connect to only to the correct applications. So it has at least this kind of a logic here. And for example, very good that you have mentioned it. So for example, you can also, no, you cannot. Well, this doesn't work because the node has to be connected through the Wi-Fi, because we can provide you a local network from the dongle that will connect to your local network, and you can gather all the TCP, UDP, everything from your local network and transfer it to the remote local network, right? So it's kind of like VPN. Very similar. It works kind of like VPN. It's not exactly the VPN, but it's very similar to the functionality. So for example, you can route UDP broadcasts from loggers to your local site, and from the other side back then you can do TCP server client configuration. I would need to connect the dongle that I have plugged in my PC to the Wi-Fi. It will then it will work. Anything on your local network, you can connect to anything on your remote network. Yes, yes. You can only connect network devices. If you want only network devices, it's up to you. You can configure the pipeline as you want, or the setup. No, you need, because this transformation of the data has to go through the DRP. I can explain to you later. Anyone else has a question for this? This is not open because we have a secure UDP transfer that is secured, and we just pack the data in our secure channel, and then we redistribute it on the other side. So it does not open ports on your one side or another. It still goes through our channel that is handshaked. It is all secure, so it is all encrypted and everything, and all the data are pushed into this channel. And then the logic on the Raspberry Pi redistributes the data to correct IPs, to correct ports, to correct everything, right? So we have like protocol that schedules all the data to correct destination, depending on what you draw in this setup. Yeah. 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 Yes, this is something we thought about, and this needs so-called translation node. It's in development, so it's basically that middle node that you will plug into it, and so it will transform this LAN data to something that you can connect to your COM ports on the local side. So basically, that's the way you do it. Yeah. Yeah. But this is class. So basically, it works as a class device. So you can plug it into any operating system. So this works Linux, Windows, Macs. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 Very good. Also, it does not go through the cloud because that would increase the latency. This is not what you want. The cloud is only there to handshake the sides. And in the special case that you have carrier grade NATs that cannot do the UDP hole punching, any other service nowadays will reject to connect to you. So basically Flex will not work with this. When you have, yeah, okay, but the carrier grade NATs will kill the Flex connectivity. This is this is known thing. They have it on the website. With this, it will not happen because the cloud then, if it figures out that this is not possible to do, it will start a relay. You have increased latency, but you can do the trip through the server, and this will work. Okay, so thank you for the presentation.